Cool. Okay, great. So now basically what I need is I want you guys to ask as many questions as you can. There is no agenda as such. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the course so far, and I just wanted to just talk to you guys and see how things are going, and if you have any questions around the way we are running the course, if you have any feedback for me, I'll be happy to take that. Along with that, one good part that I want to focus on is basically what to do next, right? Like so for example, the question could be that, hey, I am in second year, I'm done with this course, what should be my path to get a great internship, what should be my path to get a great job? So basically things like that, right? Generally to help you guys out, figuring out how to make maximum out of your next few months, next few years to get a great job or whatever you are looking for at the end of the college. Right? So if you're looking for a great MS, that could be something that you might be asking me. If you're looking for a great, let's say you want to give GATE and get into IITs for doing your masters, that's fine. You can ask me about that. So any kind of questions that you might have, I'll be happy to answer. Right? Okay. And I would really appreciate if you ask me questions clearly, right? Like, so, okay, so okay, so let's start with the questions. Let me quickly change this. Perfect. Okay, so I don't know goodies कब आ रही हैं, please मेरे से मत पूछो. I am not the right person, right? So आ जाएंगी goodies, जल्दी आ जाएंगी, टेंशन मत लो. But not the right question to ask in this webinar. Okay, so the first question that I can see is basically how to manage programming with core electronics. I am in IIT Jodhpur Electronics. So Rock Breaker is asking this. Okay, so ठीक है. So the question is electronics के साथ प्रोग्रामिंग कैसे मैनेज करें. ठीक है, perfect. So देखो, electronics के साथ if you want to manage programming, then basically you need to first figure out what exactly you want. If you're looking for a programming job, if you're looking for a software development job after your college, then that's what you need to focus on, right? Whatever you're doing in college, that's fine, but you need to primarily focus on your programming skills, your development skills, and that's what's going to make the maximum difference. One thing that you should not be worried about, that hey, my campus, the companies coming to campus, they only allow CS students or IT students, they might not allow electronic students. So that's not the case with most of the companies. And even if that is the case, I'm telling you, 50 to 60% of my students I have seen, they end up getting a great off-campus opportunity after they have received a great opportunity from campus as well. So don't worry too much about that. Get a good job on campus and then don't stop there. Keep looking for a great opportunity and crack that great opportunity and basically find that, right? So if I okay, so if I ask about, so generally, and I think this should be very important for all of you, if I generally talk about how to get a great job, see, basically it all starts with data structures. Right, it all starts with data structures. So you need to first focus on this. This is very, very important. Now, most of the companies that are coming to your campus, they will focus only on this. So if you focus on data structures, do a little bit of competitive programming, you will be absolutely fine for your campus placements. For most of the companies, there will be a bunch of companies which would need development skills, right? As soon as you try to go off campus or you try to sit for companies like which are startups in your campus as well, they would want you to have development skills as well, right? And in reality, once you join a job, these are the skills that's going to make the maximum difference. These are the skills which are the most important skills once you are on the job. So personally, I believe that once you're done with this, you should really focus on these skills as well, because they actually teach you what a real software developer actually is going to do at his job, right? So please focus on that. Okay. So, theek hai. So let me pick for some more. Okay, so somebody is asking, so Dhruv is asking, sir, I am a student of machine learning career track. Is that enough to crack a job in a product-based company, namely Amazon, or more skills are required? So Dhruv, basically, if you think just of Amazon, Amazon is primarily going to focus on your data structure skills, right? So part of the career track, you're already working on that, right? So make sure you do that really well. As you learn machine learning, what that will do is it will give you projects, which will again help you in your interviews, right? So just make sure that you work on multiple projects as part of the course as well as post the course. Along with that, keep practicing your data structure skills. That's really going to help as well. Okay, so these two things should be enough to get a job at company like Amazon. Don't keep only one target company. That will always be disappointing, because the interview process is always like sometimes it's pretty random. So it's not necessary that you will end up getting a job. Like if you target only one company, it's not necessary that you will end up getting that. Okay, but in principle, these two should be enough. And in general, I tell everybody that web development is a skill that everybody should learn. For a simple reason, web development allows you to build websites, build products that anybody can use. That is very powerful. Now, once you learn machine learning, you will, if you want people to use your projects, then knowing web development will be really useful as well. So in general, I tell everyone that web development is a very important skill to learn. Okay. So Naman is asking, Naman Jain, sir, I'm not able to learn and complete my course due to some personal reasons. So can I start the course after some time, because I'm engaged in some college which will end till 25th of August. So Naman, again, please email to contact@codingninjas.in. Right? So they will let you know if that's possible or not. They will definitely try to help you out, and please email them. They will figure out what is the right solution for you, right? Divya is asking, in data structures, which language is better? It does not matter. Most of the interviews, the interviewer is generally language agnostic. They are okay with you writing any language code. That being said, I generally recommend people that learn a little bit of pointers, learn a little bit of dynamic allocation, because these are a couple of topics which sometime end up coming up in objective section of the written test. So just a couple of topics around like how pointers work in C++, I think that will help from interviews perspective. So Anubhav is saying, I don't have an excellent background of marks, but I am very good in problem solving. So Anubhav, that's good enough. Honestly, most of the companies don't care about your marks. Some companies which are not that good companies, they will ask you that you need to have 60% in 12, 60% in this or this and that. Most of the companies will let anybody sit for a test, and whoever clears the test will basically move to the next round, right? So in that sense, your programming skills, your problem solving skills, that's the one that's going to matter a lot. Okay. Perfect. Sanjay is asking, I'm a second year undergrad in DTU. I want to ask that expertise in Flutter alone can land us a good job in good firm. So Sanjay, that's a great question. So any development skill, whether that is WebD, whether that is iOS, whether that is Android, or let's say Flutter, these are generally good enough to get you a good job. That being said, data structures is something that you need to be good at as well. Most of the companies will test you on these along with the development skill as well. That being said, if you're really good in Flutter, Amazon might not be your best target, because if you apply for Amazon doesn't really care about your Flutter skills. They will just focus on data structure skills. Along with that, your projects, but their main focus will be on your data structure skills. But if you apply to startups, which I think is a great place to work if you find the right startup, because you will have more responsibility, you will learn more, you will have more insights onto why a company is doing something, what they are doing, right? So all those things will basically make you learn a lot more. They will grow, like you will be a lot more mature after 2 years of work at a startup compared to at a bigger firm. So I think startups would love if you are a great Flutter developer. So depends on the company, but I think if you're a great Flutter developer, you will not have problem in finding a job. You just need to be sure what kind of companies you are looking for. Okay, so JNV Delhi is asking from where we should learn web development. You have tons of options. Coding Ninjas is one of the options. If you are an existing student, if you enjoyed whatever course you are doing right now, then I would recommend you to try the web development course as well. I think it's a great course. We are using Node.js for that. That being said, you have other resources as well. So whatever source works for you, you can use that, right? So Abhishek is saying, I'm working with since 2 years in a product-based MNC. I want to switch to a good product-based company with better pay. Should I go for Gate or go for Switch? Personally, I believe it depends a little bit on your background, but I think going for Gate might not be the best decision if just a company switches your target. I think a little more preparation should be good enough to get you a good company. Rather than spending 2 years, first you will prepare for 6 months preparing for that Gate exam, then you will spend 2 years in college, and then you will try to get that job. It's not necessary you will actually get it. So I personally feel it will be fine if you just prepare yourself. Okay. So Mehul is saying, Mehul is from IIT Guwahati Civil Engineering branch. And they have on-campus internships going on. What are your suggestions? Which will help me? Mehul, just figure out what kind of internships you want. If you want computer science internships, please keep practicing your data structures, right? If you are good in development skills, please apply to companies such that. Don't worry too much about on-campus. Even if you don't get a great on-campus internship, make sure you apply to a lot of off-campus internship opportunities as well. There are a lot of them. You just need to find the right place, right? So don't get worried, don't worry too much about a particular company or a particular season, just the on-campus companies. Okay. So Shubham is saying that Shubham didn't know about Coding Ninjas earlier, and now Shubham is in 4th year and doing the Java course. And placement season is already going on, so how to start with? So Shubham, don't worry too much about it, right? Like you started late, so it's fine. You're still in 4th year, you still have 1 full year. So you might not get the best opportunities on campus, but then again we'll apply off campus. So don't worry too much about it. Just focus on your skills right now. You haven't done that in the first 3 years, so do that now. Once you are ready, then we will start applying. You will have a lot of opportunities through Coding Ninjas as well. There is a placement cell at Coding Ninjas, and through which you can apply to a lot of great companies. Okay, so a couple of people are asking for Android application development course. So we have just started working on that. So it should take us a couple of months. So we take a lot of time to launch a new course because we do a lot of hard work in building a course, right? So it takes a lot of time. So we'll take some time, but you should have it with some time within the next couple of months, right? The Android application development course. So Vipul is saying, I'm a mechanical engineer but very much interested in coding and have intermediate skills. Should I go for coding intern or mechanical intern? Definitely go for coding intern. If that's what interests you, then go for that. Don't worry too much about your branch. You know, people who are in computer science, they are also not learning a lot of coding. If you have good skills, then you don't have to worry about getting a good job. You will get a good job. So just focus to get a coding intern. That will really help you getting a job eventually. Right? Definitely go for that. Pradyuman is from IIIT Bhubaneswar and he's into cybersecurity, but want to get into dev jobs to get a good placement. Should I go for CodeChef or Hacker Earth? Does not matter. Go for anyone. If your foundation skills are good, you can try either of them, right? That being said, if you want to go for good development job, you might want to learn some development as well, right? It might not help you a lot for Amazon, but it will help you a lot for a lot of other companies like Zomato and a lot of startups. For example, at Coding Ninjas, we hire a lot of tech people, and everybody is basically a good developer. That's what we really focus on. You need to be a great developer to basically add value right away, and that's what startups need from you. Jyotik Mayur is saying that Jyotik is really good in web development, pretty decent in web development, and is looking for contribution to open source. How can I start with that and any organization suggestions? So that's great. And see, don't worry too much about it. Like, just find a couple of organizations that interests you. You might want to try the ones which are in GSOC, because that might help you getting a GSOC as well, cracking GSOC as well. So just find the list of open source projects in GSOC and start from there. I think that'll be a good start. Pranshu Jindal is asking, sir, is operating system an important subject for placements? It is. So it's part of a lot of initial tests, so that we have to clear before the interviews. And some companies end up asking for that as well. So do take care of that. Chirag is asking for interviews, what are good. So Chirag is asking, what are important topics to cover for an interview, right? See, so for an interview, don't think of it from this perspective. Don't think of it ki, what are the minimum things that I can do to do well in interviews? Because what happens in an interview is, if I ask you 3 problems and you don't solve one of them, you're basically out, right? In most of the places. So you need to be good in all the topics, and it's not that there are infinite topics. It's very limited. So just make sure you are good in all of these. In general, I think most of the people end up asking things on arrays, recursion, linked list, trees, DP. These are generally the more important topics that I've seen. Okay, that being said, please focus on all of them. Okay. Okay, so Anonymous is asking this. How to stay motivated while we are writing code? Sometimes the problems are really hard and they demotivate us. Guys, you need to understand that these are hard problems, and there is a reason we are asking you to do them. Because once you do them, like once you have gone through these hard problems, then they won't stay hard for you forever, right? It might take time first time, it might take a little lesser time second time, and eventually they will be something that you're used to, right? So it's very, very important that you go through this, and you need to realize it's a like the amount of learning that you're getting from this 3-4 month course is immense, right? So I'm saying it's basically enough for you to crack great interviews. So I'm telling you that you just need these 3-4 months and you will be skilled enough to crack great companies, right? So just like motivation should just come from the fact that if you achieve this, the upside is far too high. And the cost of not doing it right now, not doing it well, is very high as well. Because if you don't do it well, then you are losing that opportunity of getting that great job. So just stay focused on the fact that, hey, I need to do this well, because if I do this well, I'm going to get a great job. That's very, very important, right? That's how you need to motivate yourself. So Sudhanshu is saying, I'm in second year, want an internship in third year, what else should I learn? So Sudhanshu, dekho, basically on-campus internships, little bit of projects, great data structure skills are mostly enough. Off-campus, strong development skills. Most of the people studying in, let's say, IITs, IIITs, NITs or DTU and SIT, they will have really good companies coming to their campus. For them, just data structures might get them that internship. That being said, I don't think that's a very good solution. So data structures, once you are done with it, please don't stop there. You have multiple paths. You have competitive, you have web, you have ML, you have data science, you have Android, You have multiple options. Don't stop at this. You have 4 years in college. What are you going to do like if you just stop at data structures? You should definitely learn these skills. The best part about development skills is you will be able to build stuff that people will use. That is the most exciting part about being a software developer or learning to code. Just think of it. You have an idea, you know WebD, you can launch it and people can use it. You don't need a factory to build products. You just need a laptop and the right skills and you're able to build stuff which people use everywhere, right? That's crazy. So just make sure that you build stuff and people enjoy using them. As soon as you get into that mode, I'm telling you, you will get the best jobs out there because you are in that mode. Your skills become absolutely at a next level as soon as you start building stuff that people are using. So Jatin CXV is asking, what is better, Android or web, if I have done the foundation course? See, as I said earlier, personally I believe web is something that everybody should know. For a simple reason, I am an Android developer, right? I want to make an application. But when I make an application, so this is my phone, I made an application, but this application will most likely have to fetch data from a server. Right? Let's say I want to make a whatever kind of application I would like, for example, Facebook application, right? So Facebook is showing you a lot of data. All this data comes from Facebook server. So you have to do web development for this as well, for the app as well. So it makes a lot of sense to learn. Sorry, just 1 second. So yeah, so I was just saying, let me repeat, the setting was a little different. So I was just saying, don't stop at data structures, do competitive web, ML, data science or Android, right? Because, and now the question was, should I do Android or web? So I was just saying, if you have any choice, if you like Android, just go with that. But in case you feel I don't have a choice, I need to decide it for you, I will say go for WebD. Because even if you have an app, that app is going to require data from the server and the server will have to write code in web using web development. Right? Okay. So, okay. So somebody is asking, how should I start for research paper for a good MS admit in ML? Right? See, so the best way to get great research papers is basically working with great professors during your summer break or your college time, right? That's what you need to do. Most of the IITs, most of the NITs, most of the triple ITs, professors are always looking for people who want to work with them. So, and even IITs, I think IITs even have applications in Jan or Feb for internships that you can apply for. If you already know ML, you can apply for those internships. So basically do that. The more work you will do, you will get better letter of recommendations, which are very important for getting a good MS admission, and getting a research paper will really help as well. Okay, so somebody is asking for project ideas and they have done C++ with DS. Guys, it would be really hard to do great projects using data structures, because this is the foundation. So you haven't learned like really something that will allow you to build projects, right? You're doing a lot of assignments, but those are not really projects. Projects would be when you are able to, let's say, launch a website, you are able to do some kind of use some kind of machine learning algorithm to do some kind of work, build an Android application. These are the projects which you should be able to do, but that's not possible by just doing C++ with data structures. You need to learn a development skill to work on good projects. Okay. Okay, so Robin is saying that most of the companies have C++ or Java questions in coding rounds, and he is currently working on the Python course. So does he need to do the C++ course? You should not have to do the C++ course. Most of the companies should have all the options. But that being said, if that if you do some more research and you find out if that you have companies which basically will give you only option of C++ or Java, in that case I would suggest it should not take you a lot of time. You should not have to take another course to write all your code again in Java or C++. Do it in Java, right? In the same course, why don't you go back, change the option in your compiler. In the Coding Ninja website, you can change the compiler from Python to Java. Try the assignment in Java. I'm telling you, it won't take a lot of time. You will get the hang of it very, very soon. Just look at a couple of example codes and you will learn how exactly to do it, because the logic is exactly the same. There is not a lot of difference in that. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so Deepak is saying, Deepak is an ECE student. Deepak has done the Python course, and Python course he really liked, and he's getting interested in programming. So what should he do once he completes the Python course that will help him in placements? So Deepak, depending upon which college you are in, the data structures might be good enough in itself to get a great job. That being said, I would recommend you to learn one development skill. As an ECE student, it will really help you. If you show that I have worked on a couple of projects, that shows that you are actually interested in software development, right? Like you are in ECE, so why do you want to go into computer science? So you will say, I am interested in it. But then you need to show something to prove that you are interested in it. And I think building projects will really help. Personally, again, my recommendation, web development, but only if you don't have a personal interest. If you enjoy Android more, go for Android. If you think you will enjoy machine learning more, go for machine learning. All these are great options. Everything has a lot of jobs. You need to be great in those. If you have good skills in either of them, you will get great jobs. Don't worry about that. So Aditya is saying that what should I do for projects, as you are saying foundation isn't enough. See, foundation से हम projects पे नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे. That's the only catch. Projects require you to learn some kind of development skill. So either you need to learn web development, or you do Android, or you do machine learning, or you do data science. You need to work on one of these to start working on projects. Okay, Arun is asking ML or web development. Arun, again, that's like asking कि medical करना चाहिए कि non-medical करना चाहिए, right? Like that's a personal choice. What works for you might not work for me, might not work for somebody else. That being said, if you don't have any choice, I would say start with WebD, right? Ideally, you have 4 years, right? In a 4-year window, if somebody comes in first year, I'll tell them you need to learn at least 2 of these. ML, WebD, Android, you should do at least 2 of these. Why not? You have 4 years, what all are you going to do? Right? You need to do at least 2 of these to learn great development skills, to basically eventually realize what you really want to do. It's possible you will do ML and WebD and you will realize, hey, WebD is my call. WebD is something that I want to do. You will have at least a better way of making a decision as well. So Mehul Chaturvedi is asking, can you please suggest some free courses or free sources for WebD? You will find, as soon as you start searching for it, right, you will find immense lot of free sources available as well. There will be a lot of documentation. There will be small videos here and there for on YouTube as well. I think these are the few places that you can start from. Vipul is saying, if I learn React, will that be enough for front-end web development? That will be good enough, because when you run React, you will have to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript as well. Because React is based on JavaScript, and as you are writing React, you need to write some HTML, CSS as well. So that's good enough. Okay. Okay. Now, couple of questions. So some people are asking, is competitive programming important? Right? See, competitive programming is basically advanced algorithms. Okay, advanced data structures and advanced algorithms. Now, for most of the companies, they don't go to that level. Like Amazon, I don't think they will go to the level of competitive programming. Google does, DirectEye does, but that's like the only two out of maybe like 3-4 companies who focus on competitive. So competitive in itself, I think, is very, very exciting. Because if you get really good in advanced data structures, advanced algorithms, there is a good chance you'll get really good at the basic data structures and basic algorithms as well. So it just depends upon you. If you really enjoy competitive, go for it. Personally, again, personal choice, I would recommend going for development because that allows you to build stuff and do something that you will do once you join a job as well. Okay, so that's personally I find that to be a lot more exciting, but it's totally your call. Okay, now Vaibhav is asking a question. To get off-campus internship, do I need development skills or just DS, data structures, is good enough? Okay, see, so when you talk about off-campus internships, most places, most companies that you will find are looking for interns will be startups. They would not be interested in hiring somebody for just data structures. They would need people who are really good in development skills as well. So to get great off-campus internship, I think being really good in development will really help, right? So just data structures might be a little hard for an off-campus internship. So Utkarsh is asking which programming language has more scope in future, Kotlin or Java? Not important. Because the day you need to learn Kotlin, you will learn Kotlin. You already know C++, Java or Python, and as soon as you know one of the languages, moving to another language is very, very easy. So don't worry about that. If you ask me Android, which language will be used in future, I think Kotlin will be the one which we'll be using for Android development in future, but that's not important. The day I want to do Android development, I learn Kotlin. Moving to a new language should be very, very straightforward. That should not take any time. Right? So Divya is asking, is doing data structures from Coding Ninjas more than enough? Again, depends. If you want to apply for companies which are looking for development skills, then you would need to learn development skills as well. But if I look at companies which are looking on data structure skills, I think the course should be good enough. If you've done the course well, if you've understood the problems really well, if you've solved all the assignments yourself, I think that's a good enough content that we are covering in this. You would have solved almost 300 different problems. That's a lot of problems. That's a lot of practice, right? Should be good enough. Somebody is asking Java or Python. Please don't worry about all these kind of things. As soon as you know one language, moving to another language should be a cakewalk. Personally, for me, I started with Java. As soon as, mostly whatever programming I did in college, in my undergrad, I did it in Java. My first job, they wanted me to do it in C++ and Perl. That's fine, right? I just had to move, so I moved to these two languages. And after that, during my masters, I had to work on Objective-C, Ruby, I had to work on Java, joined my next job, I had to work on PHP. All these things don't matter at all. If you are a great programmer, you are a great programmer. Don't try to be a Java developer. Try to be a good developer. You should be able to move around. Okay. Okay, so Maharishi, the path to Amazon job is basically great data structure skills and good projects. That's good enough, right? Seems like you already have good projects. Just focus on your data structure skills and that will be good enough to get you an Amazon placement. My only problem with this is don't just focus on one company. That will be heartbreaker, right? It's going to break your heart because just one company, and as soon as you apply for jobs, you will realize that there is a lot of randomness in these companies, the way their process is, and it's not necessary that you will be able to get that job, right? So please don't focus on just one company. That won't help. So Pranshu is asking, I'm forgetting things from the past lectures as I'm proceeding. Should I keep going forward or should I revise the previous stuff? So my recommendation, keep moving forward. If you are able to work on that, don't worry too much about the past. You can go back and revise it later. For now, keep moving. Because it's not that you're forgetting that. If you have actually solved the problems, they are here. That's going to stick around. If you've just learnt the theory, that's not going to help. You must have solved all the assignments. If you have solved all the assignments, I think everything is here. It will come back when it is needed. Keep moving forward. And whenever you need a concept from the back and you need to revise it, go back and revise. That's okay. But in general, if you have solved all the problems, keep moving forward. In the end, you can revise it one time, right? But don't fall behind for revising. Okay, seems like all of you want to work for Amazon, and I've told you the path, but again I'll tell you, please don't focus on that. So Deepak is asking me, sir, in Facebook, what was your job and in which language did you work? So at Facebook, I did an internship first. So my internship was in machine learning. I was part of the ads team. So that work I did in, so I used Hadoop for some data mining. I used various machine learning algorithms, did a lot of data analysis, eventually wrote code in Java. When I joined full time, I was part of the timeline team. Timeline was just about to launch, like after 3-4 months it launched once I joined. So in those 3-4 months I was working on the back end of timeline. So that I was working in PHP most of the times. And later on I was part of the newsfeed backend team. As part of the newsfeed backend team, I was working on C++, right? Wow, seems like, so in the internship I was working on Java, then I worked on PHP and C++. So language, again, not very important. Okay, so Anurag is saying how to prepare for framework like Spring. You should not have to prepare for that. Right? Spring, Hibernate, these are basically web development tools which you use for doing web development using Java. Honestly, if you want to do web development right now, don't do it in Java. Do it in Node.js. Do it on Ruby on Rails. Do it in Python. That's the new set of languages that you should focus on. That's what's important, right? So please try to do it in these languages rather than doing it in Java. Okay. So Rajesh is asking, what about AWS? So what about AWS? Honestly, I think AWS is a great tool. As soon as you learn web development, you would need AWS. So for example, we do teach AWS as part of web development. And recently we had actually a partner, we are doing a partnership with AWS. So as part of the AWS Educate program, anybody who enrolls with Coding Ninjas, they will get up to $100 free AWS credits. That's almost 7,000, 8,000 worth of Amazon credits, the Amazon Web Services credits. Along with that, you will get access to a $600 worth of AWS course from AWS itself, right? So AWS is a great tool, right? So as soon as you do learn AWS, it allows you to, all the websites running right now are running on cloud. So AWS is one of the primary places where we use to host our website. So Coding Ninjas is completely hosted on AWS, for example. You should definitely use that. Okay. Anmol, I can't find your question. You just written, please answer, sir. So please ask it again. So Yash is asking, is AWS certification helpful for placements? Honestly, see, all these questions, I think generally certification is not that important. If you have great skills, that will definitely help. There are a lot of DevOps profiles and there are very few people who are really good in DevOps. So if you learn AWS really well, I think that's really going to help. Certification in itself, I don't think that's going to be very important. Suraj is asking, I just completed BCA, how can I get a great internship at companies like Google? Suraj, I think the path is very clear. You need to focus on data structures. You need to become really good in competitive as well if you want to crack Google. And then they have this open tests and you can be part of that. I think it's called APAC, right? As part of APAC, you can apply, you can give the test. And if you do well, you can get that internship or job. Okay, Anmol is asking, I am a last year pass out student. I wanted to increase my package and currently doing Java course. Does help me to achieve that because I am from a tier 3 college. So Anmol, we can definitely help you in that. If you do really well in the course, then we will definitely help you get a good job as well. As part of the Coding Ninjas placement cell, you can see a bunch of companies which are hiring through us and you can apply to those companies as soon as you have done a relevant course. For example, if a company is looking for web developers, then you will not be able to apply after doing the Java course. But if a company is looking for just data structure skills, you will be able to apply after Java course. So it depends upon what the company is looking for. Okay, so a couple of people said that they are not very clear about recursion. There are a few people saying that how to get better at dynamic programming. Guys, I'm telling you, practice is the key. The more you practice, better it will get. Solve all the questions, ask as many doubts as you can, and make sure that you complete all the assignments. I'm telling you, it will really, really help. If you have any feedback for any video, if you have any feedback for any extra content that we need to add, please share that in the WhatsApp group and we'll definitely look at it, right? But please share that in the WhatsApp group so that we can get to that, okay? So Vidyadhar Vishwas is asking how to be successful in ML and C++ both during placements. Learn both the skills, you'll be absolutely fine. Don't worry about it, right? Get really good in ML and in data structures, you will be fine. Saurabh is saying how to study for Os Dbms. Saurabh, as part of our interview prep course, we do cover Os and DBMS. Along with that, I think, so as part of that course, you can do Os and DBMS. That being said, if you feel you want to do it otherwise, I think for OS there are few chapters from the dinosaur book. I don't remember the author name, from the dinosaur book, and you can basically take care of that. Will take care of it. For DBMS, I think you need to again cover up few topics. You have to cover up SQL, you have to cover up normalization and few topics like that, and that should be good enough. So Krishna is asking, do Coding Ninjas provide Django and Flask type of courses? We provide Node.js course. So we believe that Node.js might be the right technology to learn right now. So we have launched a course in Node.js, not in Flask, not in Django, but Node.js. So Sohail is asking that Sohail is doing petroleum engineering from RGIPT. Which course should he pursue, data science or machine learning? So Sohail, basically, see the data science course, let me just switch it. So this is the data science course. And this is machine learning course. Right? So data science course covers everything that is in machine learning course. It covers a bunch of other things which you will require once you join a company. So it covers topics like how to use APIs to fetch data, how to use SQL to fetch data, how to use scraping to fetch data, right? It'll make you learn all those things. There is a very important topic of data science course, Tableau. Tableau is basically a software using which you can do data analytics, and it's a great tool to learn, right? Amazing. It gives you a lot of power. So data science basically has these bunch of things. So from the job perspective, I think, like if you think it from research projects, I think ML is good enough. But as soon as you talk about at a job, I think data science is more fulfilling and a complete course. And I think that will make a lot more sense. Okay, so Anmol is asking, I'm doing a data analyst, and I want to move to data engineer. I think data science course is the one for you. Anmol. So because you're doing data analyst and you want to move to data engineering, I think you need to learn machine learning and you need to learn programming, which basically allows you to handle machine learning well. So data science course will be the right course. Rajesh is saying deadline is less, please extend. Please ask in the group, I'm sure they will help out, right? Okay. Bhavika is saying, I'm doing BCA in second year. After a BCA, I want to pursue higher course or go for placement. If I do masters, which course to pursue? I think after BCA, most of the people do MCA, which I think is a good path. honestly, if you get the right skills, you can get a job after BCA as well. That's very counterintuitive because most of the people end up trying to do MCA. But if you are good in programming, I'm telling you, degree is not important. So if you're really good in programming, but I think for you, you will have to learn some development skill and do a couple of projects to actually get a great job. I know a few of our students who have done really well after doing their BCA or BSc just because they were really good in programming. Okay. Okay, so Sonu is saying that Sonu is doing a 5-year course from NIT Rourkela and wants to do ML plus data science. See, if you want to get into, you're sure you want to get into ML and data science, do that course instead of doing WebD, right? If you're sure about that, does not make sense to delay it. Learn that, right? For on-campus job, I think generally data structures will be good enough. But if you have done data science and machine learning, I think that will really help in placements as well. So Shiva is asking, I am a third year IT student. What are the necessary tools and technology which will make me easy to gain good internship? So Shiva, again, depends on your college. At most of the colleges, if you are getting good internship companies coming to your campus, data structures might be good enough, but at most of the places you will need to learn some development skill as well to get great internships. So a couple of people are asking how much time is it required to become a 5-star CodeChef developer, programmer, or I'm at 2-star, how to move to 5-star. Guys, all this is hard work. All this depends upon person to person. Some people are able to do it really fast. Some people have to spend a lot of time. You need to be a great competitive programmer to reach 5-star. So it takes time, right? After doing foundation, I don't think you will become a 5-star CodeChef rating. You will have to work on your competitive skills. You might have to take the competitive programming course as well. That will help you get there, right? Okay, so there are a couple of people who are asking about cybersecurity career. Honestly, guys, I would recommend you to stay away from that specific a career because cybersecurity is very specific. Not a lot of people move around from cybersecurity to some other fields. So I would personally recommend you to be a generic developer so that at least initially, at initial part of your career, so that you can figure out what's the part that you like, which direction you want to move to. I would personally recommend not getting into cybersecurity right now, not the right place. So Siddharth, I just replied, if you want to be a great competitive programmer, I think that the foundation course might not be good enough. It's a great starter, but like a lot of competitive websites require you to know advanced algorithms, advanced data structures, and that's why we have a competitive programming course as well. So Robin is asking whether to do competitive or interview prep course. Very common question, simple answer. You want to be a great competitive programmer, you want great rating on CodeChef, go for competitive. You're applying for jobs, except few companies as I mentioned earlier, you're applying for jobs, you want a great job, focus on interview prep course, that's really going to help. Abhishek is asking, I'm right now in second year, how and when to start ML. See, guys, basic path, data structures, then next set of development skills. Once you're done with that, couple of projects, then next set of development skills. That's the path. Some people do the data structures course right after 12th, before going to college. I think they can start in first to second semester, they can start the development course. You are in second year. If you are good in data structures, you can start development right away. You can start learning ML right now. Earlier you start, better it is. Earlier you start, you will have more projects. The more projects you will have better understanding of the whole topic. You will have better chances of getting a research paper if you want to apply for MS. You will have better chances of getting a good job in machine learning because you will have time to do internships in machine learning. So everything falls in place if you start early. So when should you start a machine learning? If you are good in data structures, you should start right now. Okay. So Abhishek is asking in web development course what kind of projects and how many projects we get at Coding Ninjas. I think there are good 4 or 5 projects that we will do as part of the web development course. You will, for example, you will build a resume website for yourself as the first initial small project. You will build a great music player website like a Ghana.com as part of your front end project. I think as part of your back end projects, I think you work on a social media website like Quora or Facebook. I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's mentioned on the website. But you work on really good projects. Should not be a problem. Okay, so which field has more scope, data analyst or coder? So first of all, I think by coder you mean software developer. I think software developer is generic, right? It allows you, hey, I am a software developer. I've done 2 years of backend development. You can move into data science. Hey, I am a software developer. I want to become a great web developer. You can go into that. So it's a very generic field from where you can bifurcate and go into different directions. So if you're a data analyst, it will be harder to move around. So I think as a first job, second job, it might make sense to be a coder. So Ritik is saying my competitive track course, competitive module will start from 15 August. I still need more time for foundation. Can the module be shifted a little for competitive? I think that's possible. Please send an email before 15th August to contact@codingninjas.in. They will be able to help you out. How to crack GSOC? How to crack GSOC? You need to do open source contributions. How to do open source contribution? You need to learn development, right? Web development, machine learning will help you contribute to these open source projects. The more you contribute, better are the chances to get a great GSOC conversion. There is a great blog on our website, blog.codingninjas.in, about GSOC written by Chavi. Chavi is a GSOCer. I think she was a mentor as well. So that should really help you figuring out how to crack GSOC. So Lakshya is asking, I'm able to do assignments after watching hint videos. Is it okay or I have to work harder? Honestly, what I would say is spend some good amount of time before watching the hint videos. Otherwise, go for it. Don't worry about it. These are the first set of questions. If you're able to write code after that, I think that's good enough. But I would recommend going back to these problems and solving them again to make sure that you actually understood what you learned in the hint videos. So Shivani, we will be doing a project at the end of Java course. It's a very small project, not very important, I would say. It's a very interesting project, but I think that is not the motive of the course. So that project we will use a Swing library, a library called Swing, using which we will make a small game that will be part of the Java course. Whether to do MS or job, very, very subjective. Very, very subjective. Depends upon you, what you want from your life. If you want to be in the US, if you want to move outside India, I think doing MS is a great option. Otherwise, it's very subjective. Depends upon what you like, what you don't like. Vidyadhar Vishwas is asking, should I mention projects in my resume which we do in ML course? Absolutely. You should definitely do that. Definitely mention the projects, but make sure that you really understand them well, right? So should be okay. Shubham is asking, what are development skills? Development skills are being able to build a website, web development, being able to make Android applications, Android application development, being able to make machine learning projects. So machine learning is another course that we can do. Okay, guys, seem like we are running out of time, and I'll take just a couple more questions. So let's quickly do that. Okay, there are a lot of questions around, should I take ML, should I take WebD? See guys, one great part about WebD is there are lots of jobs in WebD. And that's true for ML, there are a lot of jobs, but compared to WebD, they are far less, right? WebD has a lot more jobs. So if you are in, let's say, third year, fourth year, you need an immediate job, I think WebD will give you more chances of getting a great job. And honestly, I think WebD is a skill that every software developer should know, irrespective. All startup ideas, most of the startup ideas, most of business ideas, they start with a website. Or even if they start with an app, they still require some web development, right? So learning WebD will be really empowering. That will really allow you to build projects, allow you to like do interesting stuff, right? So I think WebD is something that you should definitely learn. Okay, perfect. So, okay, last question. Okay, so JNV Delhi is saying, sir, backtracking is not covered in our course. From where should we learn it? Okay. See, backtracking is not a very hard topic. Like if you get really good in recursion, I think you should be fine with backtracking. That being said, I'll check if there is a way we can add backtracking in the course as well. Okay, guys. So one last question. So Vaibhav is saying, I'm in third year in SIT. I'm doing data science ninja track and it will end in February 2020. I can't sit for intern season now. So how to approach to get a good off-campus internship in summer? Okay. So Vaibhav, see, so you can't sit right now, but the internship is going to start in summer 2020. So even in 2020 February, you can still apply. You will have 3-4 months at that time. So honestly, what I would recommend is try to complete the course as soon as possible. Try to build as many projects as possible. And as soon as you start building some projects, start applying, right? So start applying in November or December. And along with that, basically, you will have time 3-4 more months, and we should be able to get a great internship if you do good work, right? And keep following up on the placement cell at Coding Ninjas, whatever is happening. Okay, so please do that. So Bidhyadhar Vishwas, last question. What is the best project out of ML course which I should mention in my resume? Dude, don't worry about that. Once you've done all the projects, you would know which project you have worked really hard on, which project you really enjoyed, mention that one, right? So it's not important for me to decide, right? You should decide which project you enjoyed the most, which one you think you spent the maximum time, which one is the one that you would like to talk about. Please do that. Okay, guys, I really enjoyed, I think, really great questions, and feel free to, I'll try to keep another webinar sometime soon. I'm planning to start a series where I'll be meeting you guys once every month as part of a webinar. We will announce rates and all, so you guys will be always welcome to come and ask all your questions. Once every month, I'll basically come and answer all your queries, right? So for now, I think we'll have to close this session now. If you still have any questions, you still want to get an answer from me, feel free to email me at ankush@codingninjas.in. I might be a little slow, I might take some time, but I'll try to reply to all of you. So feel free to do that. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.